Good day, guys. We're learning more about a context, right? Absolute is the word of the day. Well, we have more words than that. Right, absolute. In philosophy, a term used to indicate the opposite of relative. Ooh. The term is used with various degrees of meaning in much philosophical discussion as the possibility of the absolute has been caused by the ambiguity of the term. Moreover, relativity is almost universal, and it is practically impossible to define a term or concept without showing it to be relative to something other term or concept. Many theological philosophers speak of God as absolute, meaning thereby that he has no need of relatation relation to anything distinct. Relation? How the fuck did. Okay, Freud. Distinct from himself. In this sense, absolute means independent of essential relation to space and time, and to other objects. Okay, we're learning, people. We're learning. Okay. The possibility of human knowledge of the absolute has also been the subject of much controversy. The British philosopher Herbert Spencer and Sir William Hamilton held knowledge of the absolute to the impossible. Cool story, bro. Fuck those guys. Because the absolute is something that exists in itself apart from all knowledge, and knowledge is the relationship between two independent things, the knower and the known. The English philosopher Thomas Hill Green held that because knowledge is exhaustive comprehension of every objective detail within the unity of single consciousness, and because consciousness and its object are not independent, absolute knowledge is possible only to a being that sustains all reality within its unchanging consciousness. The German philosopher George Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel taught that all knowledge is partial knowledge of the absolute, because knowledge is not necessarily exhaustive. The object of knowledge is essentially related to the consciousness of the knower, and stands also in essential relationship to every other object. Okay, people. That's absolute bullshit. Cool story, bro. Absolute music. Instrumental music characterized by an abstract manipulation of tone and structure, unrelated in content or title to any non-musical idea or episode. The term was first used in the 19th century to distinguish abstract music from the musical genre known as program music, QB. We'll get there. Which is characterized by the imitations of natural sounds and the musical suggestions of non-musical ideas and events. In absolute music, emotion is expressed directly without intermediate literary, pictorial, or intellectual concepts, and emphasis is laid primarily upon the formal organization of tone through the basic elements of harmony, melody, and rhythm, and such larger patterns of organization as the fag of sonata forms, QQE, or whatever, okay. Until the 19th century, almost all instrumental music was abstract. As descriptive and programmatic music increased in popularity, however, many musical forms originally abstract in nature were turned into programmatic uses. Cool. This was especially true in such orchestral forms as the symphony, QE, we'll get there, which affords great variety of tone, color, and is especially adaptable to pictorial and literary effects, and the more severe textures of chamber music, QV. Absolute music retains its example. Great contributions were made by such composers as the German Ludwig van Beethoven in the 19th century and Hungarian Bela Bartok in the 20th century. Right, so 1800s and 1900s. Okay. Absolute temperature. Temperature measured above absolute zero. Okay. When centigrade degrees are used, the scale is called Kelvin, abbreviated K. Centigrade temperatures are converted to Kelvin temperatures by adding 273.16 point. When Fahrenheit degrees are used, the scale is called Rankine, abbreviation R. Fahrenheit temperatures are converted to Rankine temperatures by adding 459.69. The Fahrenheit and centigrade temperature scales are in common use only because of the historical accident that these scales were set up in the 18th century before scientists understood much of the thermodynamics. These scales have 0 points based on the freezing point of brine and water, respectively. The low temperatures must be expressed as minus quantities and unnecessarily inconvenient. See absolute zero. Absolute zero, that's what's next. Wow, the lowest temperature theoretically possible, approximately negative 273.16 degrees Celsius, negative 459.69 degrees Fahrenheit. Right? So cold doesn't exist, just everything is hotter than that. Hypothetically. Cold is defined as the absence of heat. The absolute zero is the point at which heat is complete. Absent extrapolation of the graph of volume of a gas at constant pressure and various temperature leads to zero volume at this temperature. The entropy of the perfect crystal at absolute zero is zero. The other independent evident point of the same temperature is for absolute zero. Cool. Experimentally, absolute zero cannot be reached, but very close approaches to it are possible. Yeah, they're still trying to fucking get there. Right? Fucking 70 years later, they're still trying to get there. Air is first liquefied by cooling under high pressure, then allowed to cool itself further to its boiling point, about negative 190 degrees Celsius. By evaporation, the liquid air is used to liquefy hydrogen under pressure, and this in turn is cooled by evaporation to its boiling point, about negative 250 degrees Celsius. Liquefied hydrogen in turn is used to cool helium, which boils at about negative 269 degrees Celsius. By evaporating liquid helium at low pressure, the Dutch physicist like Cameron Onnes, whatever, fucking some Dutch physicist, was able to reach a temperature within 1 degree Celsius of absolute zero. Further cooling is possible through a method developed in 1937 by the American chemist William Francis Gekle. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah, America. The University of California. Oh, fuck. No wonder they're fucking cocky as shit. Using the paramagnetic substance such as chrome alum, he magnetized it and then cooled it to liquid helium. Abednevik demagnetized the cause considered further cooling. By this method, the Dutch physicist Wonder de Haas at the University of Leiden reached a temperature of 0.0044 degrees Celsius above absolute zero. That's impressive, right? So that Dutch Haas, he's the guy, right? Absolution. In Christian theology, the judicial act of duly qualified officer of the church, by which a penitent is released from the spiritual penalties of sin or from the temporal punishment imposed by ecclesiastical authority, right? upon those publicly violating the laws of the church. Sacramental absolution is that pronounced by a priest in the sacrament of penance, which, subject to the sincerity of the repentance and reformation of the sinner, restores him to the divine grace forfeited by sin. Absolution from censorus is a public judiciary pronouncement of satisfaction or abrogation of ecclesial sentences previously imposed on a person by tribunal. See penance. Alright, so guess what? It's people getting freed from their sins, like Saint Dismas. We went over him. Alright, he got a fucking he got his free pass. Remember, people can be forgiven. Right? They can be absolved or some shit. I haven't seen it. Okay. Absolutionism. See political science. I'd rather not, but we'll get there. Absorption. In physics, the taking up of energy or matter by a substance. In radiant energy, such as light or heat, strikes a material object, it is reflected, transmitted, or absorbed. A mirror reflects most of the radiant energy which falls on it. Clear glass transmits most of the light which strikes it. A black body absorbs all radiant energy. That's not true. Well, how black is black? We got that fucking Delta black, blackety black, jet black, black, fucking. And they're all not black enough to be blackety black hole black. Just saying. A piece of red glass absorbs green light and transmits red light. Wow, such a selective absorption of light is shown by many substances. The particular colors absorbed are characteristics of a substance spectrum. Don't assume spectrums, but we'll get there. Absorbed light may be re-radiated as heat or as light of lower wavelength. Re-radiation of light is termed fluorescent if it is immediate. That's cool. Phosphorescent is, I don't know, that's a big word. If it is delayed. For radiation of heat, see heat. We'll get there. Right? This doesn't even have a QQB. It says just say see heat. Because guess yes. Fuck yeah. Hit him in the chest with heat. Right? Fuck. Absorption of matter may be illustrated by absorption of water in a sponge. Wow. The adhesion of gases to the interior surface of porous solids, often called absorption, is more properly called adsorption. See also solution, diffusion, osmosis. At Franz, German composer of songs. Cool story, bro. He was born in Prussian Saxony and educated in Leesburg. I don't know. He did some stuff. Abu Bakr or Abu Bakr, 573 to 634. Muhammad leader, father of Aisha, the wife of the Prophet Muhammad. He was born in Mecca. He became Muhammad's most trusted follower. In 632, when Muhammad died, he was made the first caliph or successor of the Prophet as caliph. Abu Bakr suppressed the relapse of some tribes into heathenism, defeated the false prophet Muzaylima, and victoriously overran Syria and Babylonia. He was buried at Medina near the grave of Muhammad. That's cool. I want to go there someday. That's cool. Oh yeah. Abu Kur or Abokr, a bay on the Mediterranean coast of Egypt, situate. Okay, Egypt again. Abulfida or Abulfida, Muslim prince and historian born in Damascus. He ruled from 1310 over the Principality of Hamet in Syria. He left several important works in Arabic, among which are his Annals, a valuable source or history of the Saracen Empire. All right, and I'll take a lesson from Neapolitan or whatever the fuck. The French guy. History is written by the victors, so he must have won something. Anyways, Abu Shur, see Bushire. Okay, I will. Abu Sibyl or Ipsambo, a locality in Upper Egypt. Okay, back to the Egypt. Abu Tilton, a genus of tender shrub in the mallow family, commonly known as flowering maple. About 70 species are recognized native to warm regions of both hemispheres. They have long stem, maple-like leaves and bell-shaped flowers 1 to 3 inches in length, ranging in color from white to yellow, orange, and blue. In subtropical regions of the United States, they are cultivated in gardens. In cooler regions, they are grown in greenhouses and as house plants. Indian mallow, the Aethiopraticea, yields a coarse fiber used for cordage. The more you know. Man, okay, we'll get to Academy, right? We got a couple before we get there, and then, oh fuck. The name of two towns, Abydos. The name of two towns in Abdiquity, a town of Asia Minor situated on the Hellespont opposite Sestos. The Persian ruler Xerxes I bridged the Hellespont at Abydos in 480 BC, preparatory to his invasion of Greece. In Greek legend, Abydos is celebrated as the scene of the story of a hero and leader, QQB. We'll see that later then. A town of Egypt situated on the west bank of the Nile, north of Thebes. Founded in prehistoric times. Archaeologists discovered royal tombs. Most of the kings of Ist and Id dynasties, 3400 to 2980 BC, were buried at Abydos. In between the first dynasty and the 26th dynasty, 663 to 525 BC, one section of the town was the site of 9 successive temples. The Great Temple of Abydos, constructed on the other side during the reign 1313-1292 BC of Seti I, is a remarkable good condition. Present day Abara el Madfuna, population about 11,000, stands near the site of Abydos. Man, that sounds cool. I want to go there. Abyssinia, see Ethiopia. We will. Right? Acacia, important genus tree or shrubs, family Mimosia. The species are for the most part native to tropical Africa. 140 species, or Australia, 280. The normal type of leaf is bipinnate. Yeah, whatever. Okay, modified, especially among the species which have had to become adapted to the intense heat and drought of Australia, where they greatly abound, forming what is called Acacia shrub. The Australian species have vertical instead of leaves. Okay, they have something instead of leaves. The genus is of great and varied economical importance, yielding edible seeds and valuable timber and gum. Hell yeah, I'm done with A for a little bit. This is boring as shit. Fucking. But hey, maybe my kids will read this someday if I lose the books, right? And I die too, because knowledge is on your side. I'll teach you the important stuff at least, right? Oh. Academy is the next word we'll get to. Have a good one, guys.